Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. And we're done. Enjoy Gagarin.
You might want this. I was just thinking that this is about what Irvin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. Oh, you remind me of him sometimes. Wanting to... And when you said it out loud, you know, I just hope our lawyer is. I sent that to our lawyer already. Right. She said she would. Hopefully she can tell us what we... Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of...
I think it's pretty obvious I'm busy right now. Gagarin is a city on the rise. Archmite is... Reliant's always here when you need us.
If my services are inadequate, please leave a complaint.
You're not the usual courier. Please tell me you're his replacement, and that you're just here to pay me a long over...
Not sure what to do about it.
What seems to be the trouble?
Are you now? Look, I'm expecting a very important package. Very quickly. I pay, and I pay well.
Grievance form. All right.
Good. Let's get you on... Akachi Rosenblum, United Transport, Gagarin Branch. Now, please. Akachi, it's Helena, over at Reliant Medical. Your courier never showed. I need his stops for the day. This is my I don't care voice, Akachi. Oh? And what's your firm's policy on losing our branch as a client? I thought so. Send it to my personal slate. Thank you, Akachi. Here. All the places our courier might have... She mentioned a panel or something that you can plug his ID number into at each delivery point. They should tell you if he's been there When you do finally track him down, you can tell him you'll be completing delivery. Now go get me my...
I was thinking about going for a hike outside the canyon.
I wonder if there are any mining jobs on Mars these days. I could put up with some dust. Well, different dust.
Welcome to Clint's. Whatever you... Except make parts, don't try... If you need anything, just might not be the prettiest.
I'm Dr. Kayala. Are you a new patient? If you're a UC citizen... Oh, well, hello right back at you. I need to get back to my work now, if you don't mind.
Check-in accepted. You are late, courier. Please complete delivery and proceed along your route.
Welcome to the Vanguard Recruitment Office. If you've got a ship and the metal to help keep UC systems safe... Ah, pleasure to meet you, Captain. I'd love to get some more people. Any interest in helping me distribute some recruiting materials to... You'll be dropping off recruitment kit, Lizzie Aheo at the I'll pay you for the legwork, but I'll throw in some extra if you can get them to guarantee they'll... That'll sound like it's in your Good. Once you're done...
Been an uptick in strongly worded graffiti recently. Guess not everyone's a fan of the new reforms coming in.
Courier 8148 detected. Error. You have already checked in at this drop-off location. Please resume standard route.
Gagarin's not an easy place to live. Nice to finally be getting some new neighbors.
You been to Clint's recently? You get crushed under all that crap yet? Officer? What?
The Terrabrew kiosk still busted?
You have already checked in
Last
at
time
this
that thing worked, there
location.
were still humans on
Please
Earth.
resume route.
You know who's really to blame for Gagarin's problems? The Freestar Collective. The UC wins the colony war. None of this ever happens. Half the city was shut down the other day for a corporate investment tour. I had
Looking
to
for a
hike
drink?
Canyon floor just to
Don't
get to
serve
work.
anything fancy, so if you're about to ask... More of these things? Fine. Give them here. I'll make sure they find their way. Oh, yeah? Enzineda's bratted. Plenty around here who could use some more stability. Now, that is an interesting... Okay, I'll put up the damn post. Folks on Gagarin? We just want to be left alone, understand?
You ever read about the early history of spaceflight? So political. So familiar. Bet you got some shin splints from that.
Hey there.
At United Transport, efficiency is paramount. So, if you would kindly step aside.
Apparently, the corporate execs are talking about building their own priority catwalks above the city.
Back at last. Did you find the courier?
Think you might need to work on those priorities.
I'm sorry if my straightforwardness... Now, did you find... My God. Dead. Well, I suppose that explains why my employee, Mr. Maximoff, and why the tracking beacon I installed on his ship was detected fleeing the planet. Here, your payment for finding the courier. It seems you've got some chops when it comes to... What would you say to finding Mr. Maximoff for me? Seeing what he knows about where our data might... Mr. Maximoff was, and may still be, one of Reliant's most ambitious young executives. If he was to do something rash, like run off with Reliant's confidential and proprietary data, then it's our responsibility, and why I'd appreciate your help in confirming if that's the case. Excellent. Mr. Maximoff, Bonifant, appears to have set down on another world here in Alpha Centauri, Hawley. Go there and see what he may know on the subject of our fallen courier and our myth...
Tell me you're here to just report a good old-fashioned crime? If I have to deal with one more corporate exec begging for... You know, your stand-up routine leaves something to... Though if you're gunning for a personalized tour of one of Gagarin's holding cells. But I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot. It's our job to deal with any law-breaking around... Now, was there... News in it that start coming from my people sooner or later. Sure. Give him it. Yup. That old piece of leather necks helped me out of more jams than I care to remember. Sure. Just tell Zeneta...
Zeneta warned me this day, my... Look, I presume you're not getting paid if I... So here, I'll take them. I'm not about to pull... But this is a medical office. I can't in good conscience hang those things up. First, do no harm and all. I think you're just wasting your time. I know Zeneta means well, but I'm just not sure I'm comfortable plastering this place with propaganda, okay? And the city could certainly use it. All right, I'll put them up. Tell Zeneta...
You managed to get those materials passed out? Really? Never thought in a million years, Lizzie and Doc. Here. What I... And for your top-notch negotiations?
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Irvin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago, and they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes. He lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. The courts won't entertain a challenge to its ruling unless we're sure that something major was missed.
What was the motive from the original trial?
We had no solid motive after our witness withdrew his testimony. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Irvin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him.
Not really. All I know is that it's a Hephaestus mine from 20 years ago, somewhere on Gagarin.
I don't have a couple decades to wait for you to search them all, so we'll need to narrow it down. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at in theory, you could find that information on a Foundry terminal. You'll need a passcode. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Irvin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
Even the confidential records and salvageable equipment?
It was probably cheaper than transporting older machines around.
Makes sense. Not many people wander around outside of the city looking for abandoned mines.
Why lock your door when you're the only person on the planet, right? Anyway, try to log into the Foundry system or convince someone to find Irvin's.
Sounds like an awkward conversation. Fortunately, the captain is rather good at.
Hopefully, that's enough to work with for now. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
The Foundry district isn't too far from here.
Look at you. So clean.
Log in for
First
your
day.
Argos extractor account. Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Irvin thinking the same thing all those years ago. Just a job, right? Well, at least we know where to... I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. It's possible. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure...
I knew I shouldn't have locked eyes with you. Dang it. What do you need? I don't have any money to give you. I'm sorry. Haven't seen you in the mines before. You knew? Not looking to chat, friend. Supervisor is going to be mad that I'm late, but I just need a moment to myself before I go back. Rough day, right? You lost. Can't believe my... Can this wait? Pretty busy trying to relax here.
End of the colony war hit Gagarin hard. He's just finally getting back on his feet.
Security's usually good about keeping out strays, but keep your eyes open at night for dust devils.
Well, this is it. Irvin's old apartment. After you, Captain. Now I get why he wanted me to look after his plants. No windows, insufficient power for proper lamps. Oh, he must have been miserable. No wonder he wrote so much. Wait a second. What about this safe? I bet it's locked by a terminal. Well, if you ever doubted Irvin's genius, look at all this. Still chugging along 20 years later. Hold on. Is that what I think it is? Aha! Will you look at that? If we go to Town Hall, I bet we can get a copy of that hunting license. Is that Urban's employment contract? Let me see. We've already got the coordinates to mine H363. But this will still solidify the fact that he was there. All right, we've got some solid leads, it looks like. And as the lawyer, she's probably right. The bird... it was a bit strange. I was hoping for some old pictures, but nothing. Beautiful and resilient. Although this self-sustaining habitat dish gets some of the credit. I'm not sure. It might not even be, but there's probably a reason why Irvin tried his best. When we get back home, I'll go through some of his research notes. It might tell us something more about this plant. No, maybe, but it helps me. Irvin was the last person. No matter how the case goes, this... In any event, I'll go through Irvin's notes in more detail later. There's probably a... Oh, on that note, we should give it a name. What do you think of... Then it's unanimous. Okay. The three of us should get back to it. You, me, and Harvey have a case to solve. Always. A pleasure watching you work. This.
They're conscripting security to search all the abandoned buildings for heat.
They probably never intended for these walkways to lap. That's this long.
Hey there. What can I do for you?
Someone painted some choice words. Robots took it down pretty quick.
Most of these corporate clowns won't even show their face at Lizzie's. Not that she'd serve them anyway.
Well, this town hall has seen better days. Hopefully that public access computer is still working. So, the hunting license was sponsored by Hephaestus after all. Ellie will be very interested to see this. I have something for you.
You're back. Well?
We got it from Town Hall and everything. It's the...
I see. This sort of thing works well for the narrative of our case, but we will need more...
We're on it, Ellie.
Well, I like the sound of that. Okay, now that... Well, don't let me stop you while you're on a roll, detectives.
Or you didn't even have time. Not now. Haven't seen you in... Not looking to chat, friend.
hate it when walkways creep.
All these fancy new businesses going up.
Careful. This place was shuttered 20 years ago. Might have new tenants now.
Captain Hicks, it is pleasant to see you.
I can't believe Irvin came here for weeks. No wonder he wrote so much in his journal. Oh, good. I was wondering when we get to this. Watch out. That's going to be messy. This looks promising. This looks like administration. Company records. Bingo. let's go find Irvin and Helgi's lab stations. Now let's go find Irvin and Helgi's lab stations. They aren't using it anymore, so why not? was the destruction of the bacterial colonies, not the apex predators. So, they ruined the ecosystem here, and it had nothing to do with Irvin. This is it. This is what Ellie needs to see. Click, you got it. Lights are on down here at least. That's good. It's not un... This isn't for some wild alien pie recipe, is it? This must be Helge's station. Looking out over... Please. I've done this 1,000 times. Okay, that hurts. Seems like Helge tried to do the right thing. I'm sure Elliot didn't see this. He's citing numerous ethics violations dating back to before Irvin's time, and Hephaestus just ignored him. Some time to kill. Hey, you might want this. Ellie, I sent you all the data from the mine already. As I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've been reviewing it. Sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the...
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell...
We found the coordinates to Irvin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Irvin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that... Helgi's documents are nothing without him there in court, explaining...
Does Helgi still live around here by any chance?
Sort of. He's, That's also a bit tricky. He's hard to find. You might ask Dr. Kayala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the... We'll be back when we convince him.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can have...
Man, could I use a vacation?
We just learned about Earth in school. Do you need medical assistance? Are you injured? Is there something I can help you two with?
Do you happen to know Dr. Helgi Hodgson? We're trying to get his help with something.
Sorry, who are you?
We're detectives. Self-taught and unaffiliated. With the emphasis on the free.
Wait, what? Detectives? Sorry, no. I mean, there's Irvin the Slaughterer and Irvin the Scourge of Gagarin, but... I'm sorry, I'm not a tour guide. You'll have...
We're trying to help him. And Gagarin, actually.
Ellie's a good person. That bodes well, but listen, I can say that Helgi took up a job working at Clint's store just down the way. I saw him there stacking boxes the last time I picked up an order. I've got to get back to my work here, so if there's nothing else... If it's patient medical records you're after, I'll remind you.
We're thinking of taking Hephaestus to court with Doctor. Now, given his situation, we're worried the defense might,
That's unfortunate, but not surprising.
Thanks, Doc. If he does end up testifying, we'll definitely need you for the trial. Ellie Yankton will be in touch.
No promises, given patient confidentiality, but I'll do my best. I need to get back to my work now, if you don't mind.
End of the colony war hit Gagarin hard. City's just finally getting back on its feet.
May not look like much, but there are some quality pieces in here. Just gotta find them. Don't mind the mess. I've got a system.
Funny you ask, because I'd like to know too. He owes me a sizable debt. Enough that he's no longer allowed in my... I don't like denying service to anyone. Yeah, I don't want to be mixed up.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe I can make an exception. Not happening.
Sorry, that's your but try asking Delitso in security. I had an incident with Helgi the other day, and security... You sure you got the right person? Helgi and I have had several... For me, yes.
We just need someone to serve as his character witness. Given your long-standing reputation.
Sure, I can say a few words. I like Helgi. If I'm testifying under oath...
Wouldn't expect anything less.
All right, I'll start there. Thanks, officer.
You let Zeneda know that if she steals too many of my people, I'm drafting her antique tail for security duty, okay? Something you want to report? If you need to file a report on him, please use the computer there.
How long would that take?
5 to 10 business days. Now please, move on. Good. She could use their help. She would agree that following procedure by filing their report...
An idea. Quick huddle. Excuse us, folks. Important detective business here. Okay, I got an idea. That terminal probably has reports on persons of interest. If you don't mind distracting the chief for a while. Great. Just talk to the chief.
Like I said before, if you need to file a report on him, then please... That's not going to happen. Hey, you doing?
Oh, I'm good, officer.
Maybe I should come over there.
No, that won't be necessary, officer.
Like I said before. If you need to file a report, use the computer. No, it's a public computer. You just click on the file a report link and type away. No, I said 5 to 10 days. No, rules are rules. You're put in a queue and have to wait your turn. Then we're done here. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Thank you, officer. You've been very helpful. All right. I was able to find out where Helgi lives. It's down on the lower levels. The Gagar. I just hope he's willing to help us. So, I really don't think I'll be holding on to the problem.
break up one more fight at Lizzie's, she and I are going to have problems.
I don't suppose you're here to tell me I've won a ticket to it.
Sorry, Doctor. Not today. We came to Gagarin to investigate Irvin Mandani's contract with the mining company.
Irvin, yeah. Biologist. Hunter. Then find the history slate. An ancient history.
Please. Irvin was once one of your colleagues. He was the one Hephaestus blamed for an ecological disaster about 20 years ago.
No, I don't. Well, you're about 20.
Look, I know this is strange. We show up out of the blue about things that happened decades ago. But right now, nobody save us knows the truth. And that means we're the only ones who can clear Irvin's name.
And what of it? Well, you'd be wrong. It's whatever...
Only if you let them. You're a scientist.
Testify? The trial is over, the verdict rendered. In case you two clowns didn't get the memo. Ellie Yankton? But why? I cannot do that. Why? Damn right it does. I just didn't think there was a way to challenge them. Easy for you to say. That's not my problem. Here's my thought. The case you have is the same. And I don't want to get... So no.
Okay, we get it. You don't have to testify. But any information you can give her.
Fine. I can do that. Miss Yankton can even call them as a witness. Might even help your case.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on. Go. Leave me be.
Hey, you might want this.
Okay, you two, lay it on me. Did you find Helgi? Did he agree to testify?
Well, we've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first?
Ugh, I hate this game. Just...
The bad news. Helgi declined to be our witness. But the good news is he's going to refer a colleague to testify on his behalf. That means confirming the scientific veracity of every document we've gathered and challenging it.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about it. And having an independent party examine the data isn't the worst idea either. Well, you two have done all that you could.
What do you think, Ellie?
You've done a pretty decent job gathering evidence.
So what's the verdict? In this case, I'd say spoilers are appreciated.
I am cautiously optimistic we can win this case.
Optimism is good.
The main thing is we'll be able to clear Irvin's name. Of that, I have no doubt. As for charging Hephaestus with a crime and clearing Helgi, that's more... All in all, though, really outstanding work. We wouldn't have gotten this far without your efforts. And I've got to imagine that wherever Irvin is...
Agreed, Ellie. And thanks. We should probably get out of Ellie's way and let her do her thing. We can talk more in private. Wow, we actually did it! Solved the case. and hopefully cleared Irvin's name. I feel like, what's the old saying? A great weight has been lifted, but it's actually true. I feel like I'm 80% biomass and 20%. You're right, but I'm confident. If nothing else, the court of public opinion is going to side with Irvin. If we lose, I'm feeling great. Although I could do it, why stop at emotional satisfaction when we can... But if I can be serious for a moment, thank you. I couldn't have done this without your help. That makes 2 of us. 3 if you count Harvey. And who wouldn't? He's practically... In fact, Harvey's got a little explorer. According to this slate I found, turns out that our spiky friends... You know what? He just might. Harvey doesn't do well with things that require him. Nope. No way. We've been through a lot, haven't we? I had forgotten what it was like to work with someone so close. On top of everything else we've done together and with Constellation, investigating Irvin's case with you is something I'll remember forever. I've come to realize that some events, some people, stand out. Yes, some of them do. And if we're... we only get a brief to be who we are and experience the range of emotions that our bodies and minds have. You're right. The variables, being born in the right time, the right place. So, if one is fortunate, you might even notice events and people changing you while it is in motion. Like any group, Constellation is only capable of doing that because of the people within it. I've explored many worlds, and I've worked with Constellation for most of my life. I cherish those memories. But you have changed me as a person forever. I don't want to look back years from now and wonder what if. I need to know what you think about us. You took the words right out of my mouth. Now, mind if we get back to exploring this beautiful, mysterious universe with me, Detective?
Hello, detectives.
Space is so hostile to humanity already, and you made it just... The Terramorphs don't stand a chance. This is one for the Constellation history. Oh, really? I haven't noticed. You're amazing. Like chocolate-covered prosciutto. Sorry. Anyway, I can't believe you got them to agree to the microbes. Bravo, Captain. Me too. Now that the Lazarus plant is destroyed, people can shift their focus from... Balancing risk versus reward is tricky. Even more so when so much hangs in the back. Making the subtle system safer with every petri dish.
We should catch up sometime. Later. Don't worry about it. For this case, I expect the paperwork to climb up the stairs and the verdict to fly out the window. So even if I did have a courier send you a court date, you'd never get here. But whatever the outcome, I'll make sure you and Barrett are... Not as many as I should. given the contracts most of the time I'm just here to remind folks a piece of paper can make you do a lot of things, but be careful out there. Howdy.
I don't know if I could work in a place like this. I appreciate the research, but yikes.
Hey, you need something? Okay, I'm listening. What's going on? Things are good. It's nice to see the place cleaned up again. Brings back a lot of... Been great so far. I'm happy to be working with Percival again. I think the TMD's set up. I'm honored to be a part of it. Backup? What is that? Oh, I'm flattered, but I don't think so. I'm doing important work here. I mean, I do too, but leaving the TMD? That's a big decision. Yeah, maybe. I have to admit, that trip to Londinian whetted my appetite. I saw myself at the TMD for the long haul, but if Percival... If you really need backup out there... Yeah, I think so too. Thank you for the offer. Really. It was unexpected, but I think this will be for the best. Both for me and for the settled systems. I'll head out soon. I just need to talk to Percival before I go. He's gonna get an earful for arranging this without talking to me about it first. See you, Captain.
I want to hear one of my stories? Or do you have one to tell me? Hey, be careful out there.
Sounds like we finally got some real marching. Everything up to spec.
Sun on. Something I can do for you?
Hey, you might want this.
of service, Captain.
Dust, can I carry that for you? I'm here if you need me. Just say the word.